Hi, I'm making a short video to go over the final essay for the class, which you can find in week 7. And what you want to do is you want to go into the assignment and find the Essay 2 online PDF. These are also really good handouts, which I hope that you read most of the first time around, but now there's extra stuff like the lens and motive handout. Um, But yeah, the actual assignment is a lens assignment where you're going to be putting text into a conversation with one another to reveal something interesting, maybe a contradiction or an interesting tension. Some complication comes to light. They speak to each other in unexpected ways. You learn something from comparing the texts, essentially. And the three texts that I want you to put into conversation with one another are Eric Liu's Notes of a Native Speaker and Jhumpa Lahiri's The Namesake and Gino Diaz's Stories. This is How You Lose Her. So I've given you some topics and I had extra information here, but I realized it was kind of a spoiler alert if you hadn't actually finished the novel in reading the assignment. So I took those out and gave you a little bit more range with what you want to be discussing. But yeah, basically you're going to be putting the text into conversation with one another, and your thesis should present an argument about how doing so reveals something interesting about the novel. So the focus is actually on the novel. But I'm also going to take this opportunity to take a larger step back. With such a short semester, I've decided that the final essay, really is going to function as the final exam since it's going to show a cumulative understanding in the course. And just to kind of pull everything together, the class is called New Voices in American Literature, and the idea is that we really are looking at these new voices that are largely made up of the immigrant's experience. And what I find really interesting about these last two texts is that we have this concept of the ABCD in Lahiri, which Liu talks very articulately about in terms of assimilation. The way that he's called a banana because he is yellow on the outside and white on the inside. The sense that he's a traitor to his ethnicity, to his nationality, because he has adopted white vernacular and all these other things, versus somebody like Junot Diaz, who would not be accused of that. And I just want to give you some context about this book. There are some pretty graphic representations of a character who cheats flagrantly on women and is just not a very nice guy in relationships. And so I think people get confused about what Junot Diaz is doing. He's exposing misogyny. He's exposing this. When in interviews he'd say, like, if there was just a database for all the guys that everybody knows are just not really good guys to women, maybe the world would be a better place. So he's got a little bit of an agenda here. He dedicates his book to Sandra Cisneros, who, what Junot Diaz has said is that he came up as a writer at Rutgers when the feminist women of color had dominated the department. So he was just in this world of thinking, what would it mean to expose cultural machismo and cultural misogyny and how to do it? Well, you create characters that just do it. Anyway, I think that what I want you to get out of this paper is that you have these two kinds of new voices where one is really adopted the white vernacular and really the literary tradition, the English tradition of literature, and the other has started to kind of forge a different kind of literature, one that is really coming from his authentic experience as a person of color. and as an immigrant. But definitely, especially in the last chapter where you have the MIT um, student who is just very similar to Gogol. There are connections. It's there's similar characters coming from similar places, but very different perspectives. Okay, I'm looking forward to seeing what you guys cook up. Good luck. Let me know if you have any questions.